Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. You know the feeling too well, that quiet dread that life is passing you by while you're stuck watching from the sidelines. Days blur into each other, work and obligations consume your hours, and at night you lie awake with the sense that you've lost something essential. Energy drains out of you, but you can't even point to where it went. You've compromised so many times, bent yourself to fit the expectations of others, and one day you look around and realize there's nothing left that feels truly yours. It feels like you've been living on autopilot. You get up, you perform the roles, you try to be the responsible one, the kind one, the reliable one, and still a hollowness grows inside. It's not about failure or success in the eyes of others. It's deeper. It's the haunting sense that you are not steering your own life, that somewhere along the way, you handed over the wheel. If we're honest, this recognition cuts sharper with age. You remember the younger version of yourself, full of intensity, dreaming of a life that felt alive and real. Where is that person now? What remains is fatigue, a constant undercurrent of disappointment, the suspicion that maybe this is all there is. And that thought terrifies you. But let me say it clearly, you are not alone in this. Everyone at some point collides with this same realization. The mask slips. The lies we tell ourselves about control and certainty dissolve. And underneath is the truth. We do not really hold our lives the way we imagined. We are pulled by hidden patterns, family scripts, cultural demands. The shadow we pretend isn't there. This is painful, yes, but it is also the beginning. Because inside that pain is a doorway. The exhaustion you feel, the emptiness you can't ignore, these are not proof that you are broken. They are signals that something deeper wants to wake up. By the end of this journey, you will see why this pain can become your key. Why the very emptiness you fear can open into strength. For now, stay here. Let yourself admit it. Life as it is no longer feels real. That honesty is the first step, and there is more, much more, waiting on the other side of it. Positive thinking, gratitude lists, another stack of self-help books. You've heard it all, maybe even tried it all. The slogans sound neat. Just change your mindset, shift your focus, count your blessings. But when the lights go out and you are left alone with yourself, those slogans crumble. You can repeat affirmations 100 times and still feel that emptiness eating at you. This sounds harsh, but those surface fixes are designed to bypass pain, not to face it. They polish the mask. They don't touch the wound. They tell you to smile when your chest is heavy, to think positive when your body is screaming no. And the more you force it, the more disconnected you become from what is real. Not everyone is ready to hear this. Real transformation never comes through pretty mantras. It comes through the places you most want to avoid. The shadows, the anger, the grief, the shame you buried. Pretending those parts don't exist doesn't free you. It enslaves you. Because what you push down keeps ruling you in silence. Look at the culture we live in. It thrives on illusions of quick change, 10 steps to happiness, 5 habits of successful people, 30 days to a new you. And maybe for a while it feels good. Structure, novelty, motivation. But deep inside, nothing shifts because the pain remains untouched and the shadow continues to direct your choices from the dark. Here's the contrast you need to see. Surface methods promise comfort. Depth requires discomfort. Surface feeds your desire for quick relief. Depth forces you to slow down and look at the parts of yourself you've avoided your whole life. And that is where strength begins. Not in escaping the darkness, but in facing it. You did nothing wrong by trying the easy methods. Everyone starts there, but now you know why they didn't last. And this opens a more dangerous, more liberating path. Because once you stop chasing illusions, you are left with the raw material of change, your own shadow. And here is the loop of tension. There are truths even harder to face than this. Truths that most people spend their whole lives avoiding. They hurt, but they also free, and we are going there next. There are a few truths that, once seen, you cannot unsee. They don't make life easier. They make it real. And the first of them is this: life does not owe you fairness. We grow up expecting balance. If I work hard, I should succeed. If I love honestly, I should be loved back. If I follow the rules, I should be safe. Deep inside, we carry this hidden contract with the world. And every time life breaks it, a part of us collapses. This sounds harsh, but clinging to the fantasy of fairness keeps you trapped. Because when life betrays your contract, you slide into the role of the victim. Why me? Why is it harder for me than for others? Why do I never get what I give? These questions sound natural, but they are cages. They drain your strength and lock you into bitterness. The painful clarity is this: life was never meant to be fair. Not because you are cursed, not because you are unworthy, but because existence itself does not follow human rules of balance. Storms hit without reason. Loss arrives without warning. Injustice spreads because people act from their shadows. When you demand fairness from life, you are demanding that reality fit your illusion. And reality doesn't bend. But here's the paradox. When you finally accept that life does not owe you balance, you are no longer its hostage. The chains of resentment fall away. Energy that once went into complaint and comparison returns to you. You stop measuring yourself against imaginary scales and begin to act with clarity in the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. That is freedom. If these words strike you, don't ignore them. If they resonate, subscribe to the channel. That way more people can hear the truth that has been hidden from them. If you feel this is about you, subscribe to the channel. The algorithms will carry it to others who are ready to face their shadow. If you understand what I am saying, subscribe to the channel. Let this truth reach those who need to stop running from themselves. The first truth hurts. It burns down illusions you've carried for years. But this is only the beginning, because there are other truths, heavier, sharper, that show you why your mask cannot protect you, why your pain is not an enemy, and why control is the quickest way to lose trust. Those come next. The second truth is this: your shadow is always stronger than your mask. You can polish the image, practice confidence, speak the right words, even convince yourself that you've outgrown your wounds. But the shadow waits. The parts you deny, anger, envy, fear, longing, they don't disappear. They direct your choices from beneath the surface. And when the mask cracks, as it always does, the shadow rushes out stronger than before. The third truth: pain is not an enemy, but a path. From childhood, you were taught to avoid it, numb it, or cover it with distraction. But pain is the signal that life is touching something true. The ache in your chest, the heaviness you carry, they are not punishments. They are guides. When you stop running, pain reveals what has been missing, what you must face to grow whole. The fourth truth: control destroys trust. You believe that if you grip tighter, if you manage every detail, people will feel secure with you. In reality, they withdraw. They stop bringing their true selves because they sense the cage behind your good intentions. The paradox is cruel. The more you try to hold everything together, the faster it slips from your hands. Trust is born not from control, but from presence and vulnerability. These truths are not easy to swallow. They pull the ground out from under illusions you've lived by for years. But that collapse is necessary, because behind it lies a freedom you could not imagine while clinging to the old ways. And yet there is a truth even darker than these. A truth most people spend their whole lives refusing to face. It will cut deeper, but it will also open the doorway to transformation no mask can fake. That is where we are going next. The fifth truth is this: love does not save you if it lacks maturity. Movies and stories taught you that love heals everything, that finding the right person fixes the cracks inside. But without maturity, Love turns into dependence, into clinging, into another mask. Real love does not rescue you. It mirrors you. It tests you. It asks you to grow. Without inner work, even the most passionate connection will eventually repeat the same old wounds. The sixth truth: no one is coming to fix your life. This sounds brutal, but waiting for a savior keeps you frozen. A partner, a mentor, a leader, even a spiritual figure. None of them can walk into your shadow and live your pain for you. Help exists, yes, but no one can do the inner work in your place. The moment you stop waiting for rescue is the moment you start moving. That is when responsibility stops being a burden and becomes a doorway to freedom. The seventh truth: death is the mirror that makes life real. Most people avoid this thought, but ignoring death leaves life shallow. Remembering that everything ends strips away illusions. Petty conflicts, fake goals, borrowed roles, they fall apart when you realize time is not endless. Death is not only an end, it is the sharp clarity that forces you to ask, what do I want to live before it is gone? That question can burn away distractions and bring you back to what matters. These three truths strike like hammers. They break the fantasies you've been told to hold on to. That love will save you, that someone else will fix your story, that life goes on forever. And in their place, they leave something raw, painful, but real: the chance to live awake. The swing of this journey is clear. First, the pain of seeing, then the shock of realization, and finally the fragile hope that comes from honesty. Because once illusions are gone, you are left with what is real. And reality, however hard, is the only ground strong enough to stand on. Practical steps matter, because without them, these truths risk staying as ideas. They need to be lived in the body, in daily choices, in moments when the old patterns whisper again. Start with shadow work. Each evening, write down the thoughts or impulses you tried to hide during the day. Envy, anger, craving, shame. Do not judge them. Seeing them on paper takes away some of their hidden power. Keep a trigger journal. Notice when you feel the sudden drop of energy, the impulse to escape, the surge of resentment. Track what happened before, what you felt in your body, what story your mind told. Over time, you will see the repeating patterns that once ruled you in silence. Practice honest conversations. Choose one person you trust and speak a truth you usually avoid. It might be small. I am afraid. I feel jealous. I am tired of pretending. Each act of honesty loosens the grip of the mask. Bring it into the body. Do simple somatic practices. Slow breathing, shaking out tension, stretching, walking in silence. Suppressed energy lives in your muscles, your breath, your posture. Releasing it physically is as important as naming it mentally. These are not quick fixes. They are daily rituals that teach you to stop running from yourself. Each small step is a declaration: I will not abandon myself today. And now the invitation to community. If you recognize yourself in these words, write in the comments, I am no longer running from pain. Let us see how many here are ready for truth. If you feel it is time to face your shadow, write, my darkness is my strength. Together we create a space for those unafraid to look inward. If you are ready to stop playing roles, write, I take off the masks. Let us see who else here is ready for real life. If this video shifted something in you, write, I accept my shadow. Write it as a commitment to yourself. These 7 truths are not the end, they are the beginning. They do not give you comfort, they give you ground. They do not promise safety, they promise freedom. And now you know, the pain you carried is not your prison, it is your key. This is only the beginning.